Chinese President Xi Jinping is heading to Central Asia, his first overseas visit since the start of the pandemic. In the last 3 years, Xi has taken part in global gatherings, but only via video calls. His physical absence has cast a shadow over Beijing's ambitions, both political and economic. In the last 3 years, Xi Jinping left mainland China only once. That was for a one-day visit to Hong Kong. But nearly 1,000 days later, and the Chinese leader is all set for some diplomacy. So what is on the agenda for now? The trip will begin today and end on Friday. Xi Jinping will first head to Uzbekistan. This is for a state visit of the Central Asian nation. Here he will also take part in Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit in Samarkand. After that, he will also visit Kazakhstan. So what is at stake for the Chinese president? Xi Jinping is at a crucial inflection point. The summit takes Xi abroad at a time when the party is also preparing for an October Congress. A Congress where he is expected to break with political tradition, awarding himself a third five-year term as the leader. This will make Xi China's most powerful leader since the 1980s. Currently, the Chinese president faces no threats, but discontent is on the rise in the country, especially over a sharply slowing economy and Xi Jinping's strict zero-COVID policies. Now, what is Xi Jinping hoping to gain? Well, China dominates the 8-member SCO. The group includes former Central Asian states, that is Pakistan and India. It is the world's largest regional organization covering approximately 60% of the area of Eurasia, 40% of the world population and over 30% of global GDP. China has used the bloc to expand its influence in Moscow's backyard. Beijing sees SCO as an alternative to the G7-led Western order. For Putin, meeting Xi is a boost. The Russian president has become increasingly isolated following the Ukrainian invasion. Now, the last time the two leaders met was in Beijing in January. The Chinese president says that the two governments had a no-limits friendship. Meanwhile, his trip will also help boost unity with China's Central Asian neighbors. Kazakhstan was the birthplace of the landmark Belt and Road Initiative. China-Kazakhstan relations have grown a lot in the last few years as well. Now, last year, the annual bilateral trade reached over $25 billion. That is nearly 70 times the amount in 1992. That is when the two established diplomatic ties. In the first 7 months of 2022, the trade volume was around $18 billion. China is also working closely with Uzbekistan. This will be to boost the synergy between the BRI and the development strategy for new Uzbekistan. In the first few months of 2022, the total trade between Beijing and Tashkent was around $5.5 billion. Both countries are now working to achieve the goal of reaching $10 billion in bilateral trade.
President Xi Jinping Xitoy Xalq Respublikasining төрағасы